Have you ever stopped to think about the choices you make every single day? The small decisions that pile up and shape your life, your happiness, your peace, your success. What if I told you that many people, even those who are smart and capable, sabotage themselves not by what they do, but by what they refuse to avoid? The things they do without realizing, the habits they don't question, the missteps they keep repeating. What separates the wise from the rest is often not just the good choices they make, but the mistakes they consciously steer clear of. In a world buzzing with endless options, distractions and pressures, making smart choices is no easy feat. Every day you're pulled in countless directions by emotions, social expectations, fears and habits. It's easy to act impulsively or follow the crowd, only to find yourself feeling regret, frustration or emptiness. But wisdom, true wisdom, is about more than just making good decisions. It's about knowing what to refuse, what to never fall into, what to avoid at all costs. This is where the ancient philosophy of Stoicism comes in. Stoicism teaches us that wisdom is not just knowledge, but practice. It's about living deliberately, with clarity and courage, grounded in reality and virtue. Wise people don't just chase success or pleasure. They understand themselves deeply, they know the limits of control, and they guard their minds from error. In this video, I want to share with you 10 critical things that wise people never do, choices they consciously avoid to live a life of clarity, purpose, and peace. These are not vague platitudes or moralistic rules. They are practical lessons drawn from centuries of Stoic insight, designed to help you make smarter decisions starting right now. You will discover why wise people never act without thought, never confuse what's within their power, never chase empty approval, and never let emotions run the show. You'll learn why they never ignore the present, avoid discomfort, forget their mortality, betray their values, underestimate small habits, or let pride cloud their judgment. This journey isn't about perfection or harsh self-judgment. It's about empowerment, recognizing the traps that catch many and choosing a different, wiser path. It's about understanding that smart choices come not just from knowing what to do, but knowing what never to do. Are you ready to challenge your assumptions, reflect on your habits, and step into a life marked by wise, intentional choices? Let's begin this journey together and uncover the 10 things wise people never do, because what you avoid is just as important as what you pursue. One of the greatest pitfalls we face is acting without thought. It sounds simple, but how often do you catch yourself making decisions on impulse, driven by habit or emotion rather than careful consideration? The Stoics remind us that wisdom begins with reflection. Wise people never rush into action without first pausing to understand the situation, weigh the consequences, and align their choice with reason. Imagine standing at a crossroads and deciding which path to take. If you choose blindly, without looking or thinking, you may wander far off course. But if you pause, observe, and deliberate, your steps become intentional and sure. This is the difference between reckless action and wise choice. Acting without thought often leads to regret. Maybe it's a harsh word spoken in anger, a financial decision made out of fear, or a commitment taken without fully understanding the cost. These moments teach us that impulsivity is a barrier to smart living. The Stoics teach us to cultivate mindfulness, not as a trendy practice, but as the foundation of intelligent action. Before you act, ask yourself, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? What are the possible outcomes? Does this choice serve my values and long-term goals? By integrating these questions into daily life, you transform decision-making from a reactive process into a deliberate art. This habit of thoughtful action doesn't mean paralysis or overthinking. It's about creating a pause, a sacred space between stimulus and response. In that pause lies your power to choose wisely. Start small. When faced with a choice, even a minor one, take a breath and reflect. Over time, this becomes natural, and your actions gain depth and clarity. Wise people never act without thought because they understand that every choice shapes their character and destiny. Your life is the sum of your decisions. Make each one count by choosing with intention. Closely linked to acting thoughtfully is the ability to distinguish what you can control from what you cannot. This principle is the cornerstone of Stoic wisdom and a secret to peace and smart choices. Many of our frustrations and poor decisions arise because we confuse these two realms. We expend energy trying to change others, circumstances, or the past, things entirely outside our control. Meanwhile, we neglect the one thing we always hold: our own thoughts, judgments, and actions. Imagine carrying a heavy bag filled with things you cannot influence. The more you carry, the more exhausted you become. But when you learn to set down that bag, accepting what lies beyond your power, you lighten your load and free your mind. Wise people never waste time on what they cannot control. Instead, they focus fiercely on their own responses, decisions, and attitudes. This shift empowers them to navigate life with resilience and clarity. In practice, this means regularly asking yourself, is this within my power? If yes, act boldly and wisely. If no, release attachment and accept calmly. This simple question, repeated often, rewires your thinking and reduces unnecessary suffering. By embracing this dichotomy, you conserve energy for what truly matters, make smarter decisions, and find peace amid uncertainty. Many people struggle because they try to control the uncontrollable, other people's opinions, unpredictable events, or outcomes beyond their reach. Wise people recognize this trap and choose freedom instead. As you adopt this mindset, you'll notice your choices become clearer, your emotions calmer, and your life more purposeful. This is not passive resignation, but active, intelligent engagement with reality as it is. Together, thoughtful action and understanding control form the foundation of all smart choices. They prepare you to live wisely in a complex world. One of the most common traps that leads us astray is the relentless chase for approval from others. It's a subtle, yet powerful force that can cloud judgment and sabotage wise decision-making. Think about the last time you made a choice, not because it felt right for you, but because you wanted to impress someone, avoid criticism, or fit in. Wise people never fall into this trap. They understand that external approval is fleeting and unreliable, while inner virtue is steadfast and true. The Stoics taught that true wisdom and happiness come from self-sufficiency, what they called autarkeia. This means being complete and content within yourself, grounded in your values and character rather than the shifting opinions of others. When your sense of worth depends on external validation, you become a prisoner to other people's moods, judgments, and expectations. This not only leads to poor choices, but also robs you of peace. Wise people cultivate a strong inner compass. They ask, does this choice align with my principles? Does it serve my growth and integrity? When you center your decisions on your own reasoned values instead of applause or approval, you gain freedom and clarity. It's not about becoming indifferent or rejecting social connection. Rather, it's about refusing to be controlled by the desire to please. You can engage authentically with others without sacrificing your wisdom. Next time you feel the pull to conform or seek validation, pause and ask yourself, am I choosing this because it is right for me, or because I want others to like me? This simple question helps you reconnect with your true self. Building this internal validation takes practice. Journaling about your values, reflecting on past decisions made under external pressure, and strengthening your self-awareness all help. Over time, you'll find that your choices grow stronger and your confidence deepens. Wise people never confuse popularity with wisdom. They understand that true respect comes from integrity, not approval. Emotions are powerful forces, and they color every decision we make. Yet wise people never let emotions dictate their choices. Instead, they learn to observe emotions as messages, not commands. They acknowledge feelings without being enslaved by them. The Stoics called this the discipline of assent, training yourself to recognize emotional impulses, but not automatically agreeing with them. When anger, fear, or desire arises, the wise mind steps back and asks, is this feeling based on truth? Will acting on it lead to harm or virtue? Acting impulsively on emotions often leads to regret. Imagine sending an angry message you later wish you hadn't, or avoiding a challenge because of fear. Wise people develop the skill to feel fully, yet respond thoughtfully. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions or pretending they don't exist. It means creating a space between feeling and action, a pause where reason can guide your response. One practical way to cultivate this skill is through mindfulness. When you notice a strong emotion, label it quietly: anger, anxiety, excitement, and observe its intensity and cause. Then, before acting, ask yourself what the wisest course is. Over time, this habit rewires your brain to respond with wisdom rather than reactivity. You build emotional intelligence and resilience, essential for smart choices. Remember, emotions provide important information about your values and environment, but they should not override your reason. Wise people harness their emotions to serve their purpose, not derail it. By mastering your emotional responses, you create a powerful foundation for wise decision-making, leading to a life of greater peace and fulfillment. Wise people never ignore the present moment. It might sound obvious, but how often do you find yourself distracted by regrets about the past or worries about the future, missing what's right in front of you? The Stoics taught that living in agreement with nature means embracing the here and now, fully engaging with the present. When you live fully in the moment, your choices become clearer, your focus sharper, and your actions more effective. Distraction and procrastination are thieves of wisdom. When your mind flits between what was and what might be, you lose touch with reality, the only place where decisions can truly be made. Wise people cultivate presence through mindfulness, grounding themselves in what they can see, hear, and act upon now. This means accepting whatever the present brings, whether pleasant or challenging, without resistance or denial. It means making decisions based on the facts before you, not on imagined scenarios or past mistakes. When you live in the present, you avoid the paralysis of overthinking and the anxiety of uncertainty. Practical strategies to cultivate presence include focusing on your breath, setting clear intentions for the day, and regularly checking in with yourself to notice where your attention is. Wise people train their minds to return to the present moment whenever they drift. By embracing the now, you open yourself to wiser, more deliberate choices. You act with clarity rather than confusion, with calm rather than chaos. This simple yet profound shift is a cornerstone of smart living. Another thing wise people never do is avoid discomfort or difficulty. On the contrary, they understand that hardship is not an enemy but a necessary teacher. The Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort to strengthen their minds and bodies, knowing that ease breeds weakness while challenge builds resilience. Avoiding difficulty might bring short-term relief, but it leads to long-term problems, missed growth, poor preparation, and shallow character. Wise people choose to face discomfort courageously, seeing it as an opportunity to test and improve themselves. This mindset transforms how you view problems. Instead of fearing discomfort, you embrace it as part of the journey toward wisdom and strength. When you meet hardship with openness and determination, you build emotional toughness and practical skills that serve you in all areas of life. You can start practicing this by willingly stepping out of your comfort zone in small ways, delaying gratification, taking on challenging tasks, or sitting quietly with uncomfortable emotions. These acts train your mind to endure and adapt. Reframing discomfort as growth rather than punishment changes your relationship with difficulty. Wise people don't run from pain or struggle. They welcome it as a catalyst for transformation. By refusing to avoid hardship, you prepare yourself to make smarter choices even in adversity. You become flexible, resourceful, and confident in your ability to handle whatever life throws at you. Together, living fully in the present and embracing discomfort provide a foundation of strength and clarity for wise decision-making. They train you to face life honestly and bravely, creating a fertile ground for smart choices. Wise people never forget mortality and the impermanence of life. This might sound somber, but the Stoics embraced the practice of memento mori, not as a morbid obsession, but as a powerful reminder to live fully and wisely. When you remember that your time is limited and everything is transient, your priorities sharpen. You stop wasting energy on trivial concerns and focus on what truly matters. Many people live as if they have unlimited time, postponing important decisions, relationships, or personal growth. Wise people understand that time is their most precious resource, and every moment is an opportunity not to be squandered. Reflecting on mortality encourages urgency, balanced with calm. It reminds you to choose actions that align with your values, to speak truthfully, to forgive, and to cherish the present. It also softens fear. When death is accepted, the everyday worries lose their grip. To cultivate this awareness, spend a few moments each day contemplating your impermanence. Ask yourself, if today were my last, would I choose to act this way? What would I want to accomplish? This reflection reorients your mind and deepens your wisdom. By never forgetting mortality, wise people live deliberately, with purpose and gratitude. Their choices become more meaningful, their actions more sincere. Another thing wise people never do is act against their own values. Integrity is the backbone of wisdom. When your actions align with your principles, you build trust in yourself and a steady foundation for decision-making. Compromising your values for convenience, gain, or fear leads to inner conflict and regret. It clouds judgment and erodes self-respect. The Stoics emphasize living in accordance with virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance as the highest good. Wise people take the time to clearly define their values and revisit them regularly. When faced with choices, they ask, does this align with who I am and who I want to be? If not, they resist temptation or pressure. Maintaining integrity requires courage because it often means standing alone or facing short-term discomfort. But the long-term rewards, a clear conscience, self-respect, and peace, are invaluable. To strengthen this habit, write down your core values and review them frequently. When a tough decision arises, check it against your list. This practice anchors you and guides your smart choices. By never betraying their values, wise people build lives of coherence and authenticity, where every choice reinforces their true self and wisdom grows steadily. Wise people never underestimate the power of small, consistent actions. It's easy to overlook the tiny choices you make every day, but these small steps accumulate into the reality of your life. The Stoics understood that wisdom and virtue are not built in a day, but through persistent effort over time. Many fail not because of a single mistake, but because they neglect the steady, daily work of improvement. Skipping a moment of reflection, avoiding a difficult conversation, or choosing comfort over growth may seem minor, but repeated, these small decisions shape your character and destiny. Wise people embrace habits that support their values and goals. They see each day as an opportunity to practice self-control, kindness, courage, and wisdom in simple ways. This consistent discipline creates momentum that carries them through challenges. If you want to make smarter choices, focus on the micro-decisions. What you do daily, how you manage your time, respond to stress, engage with others, matters enormously. Building routines that reflect your highest intentions is a practical path to wisdom. Start with small commitments you can keep, then expand them gradually. Celebrate your progress and learn from setbacks without judgment. Over time, these small acts become the foundation of a wise life. Wise people never allow pride to cloud their judgment. Pride, in its unhealthy form, blinds us to truth and growth. It convinces us that we are always right, that we have little to learn, or that admitting mistakes is weakness. The Stoics teach humility as a vital part of wisdom, a humble recognition of our limitations and a willingness to learn. When pride takes over, smart choices give way to stubbornness and error. Wise people cultivate self-awareness and seek feedback. They are willing to question their beliefs and correct course when needed. This openness fosters growth and sharpens judgment. Pride can also isolate us, cutting us off from others' perspectives and support. By practicing humility, you build deeper connections and expand your understanding. To guard against pride, practice honest self-reflection and remind yourself that wisdom is a lifelong journey. Embrace mistakes as opportunities to learn, not threats to your ego. By keeping pride in check, wise people maintain clarity and flexibility, enabling smarter decisions and continual growth. Now that we've explored the 10 things wise people never do, it's time to bring everything together and see how these principles form a roadmap for smarter, wiser living. Each of these lessons is like a guardrail preventing you from veering off the path toward confusion, regret, and frustration. When you avoid these common pitfalls, your choices become clearer, your mind calmer, and your life more aligned with purpose. Remember, wisdom is not a destination but a journey, one of daily practice, reflection, and growth. It's about showing up each day ready to choose with intention, to act with integrity, and to embrace life's challenges with courage and humility. None of us are perfect, and none of us will avoid all mistakes, but wise people cultivate awareness and learn to course-correct swiftly. As you move forward, ask yourself which of these 10 never-dos resonate most with your current life. Maybe you struggle with acting impulsively, or perhaps you find it hard to accept what's outside your control. Use this awareness as a starting point for change. Make a commitment to yourself today to practice these principles little by little. Build the habit of thoughtful action, of distinguishing control, of turning inward for validation, and of responding rather than reacting. Let gratitude, presence, and acceptance of discomfort strengthen your resolve. Let the awareness of mortality inspire urgency and focus. Let integrity and humility be your guides. Your journey toward wise choices will not only transform your decisions but also your experience of life, bringing you greater peace, resilience, and fulfillment. If this message has spoken to you, I encourage you to reflect, share your thoughts, and engage with others on this path. Wisdom grows when it is practiced and shared. Thank you for investing your time in this journey. Remember, smart choices start with the things you wisely choose never to do. Keep walking this path with courage and clarity, and watch how your life unfolds in wisdom and grace.